The 5 rules to instantly rewire your brain. Forget manifestation. You tried manifesting. You journaled, visualized, said the affirmations, yet nothing changed. That's not your fault. Your brain isn't wired for vague wishes. It updates from actions and evidence. Today I'll give you 5 science-backed rules that flip you from wishing to doing. Starting today, we'll lean on neuroplasticity, prediction error, and behavioral activation. The stuff your brain actually listens to. Here's the roadmap. Identity lock, precision goals, friction design, emotion pairing, and data feedback. The secret? Your brain rewards precision, not vibes. And there's one mistake that makes manifestation backfire. Rule 4 fixes it. Let's jump in. Why manifestation fails your brain, and what works instead. If intentions alone change behavior, we'd all be done by now. The problem is simple. Passive wishing trains inaction. Every time you repeat a desire without changing anything in your day, you're running a rehearsal, just not the one you think. You're rehearsing thinking instead of doing, and your brain wires what you repeat. Neuroplasticity isn't selective. It strengthens whatever gets the reps. That includes avoidance, delay, and I'll start tomorrow. Here's why. The brain updates through prediction errors and action-contingent outcomes. In plain English, your brain compares what it expected to happen with what actually happened, and it adjusts based on the difference. Dopamine neurons spike when reality beats expectation, and dip when it's worse. That delta, the reward prediction error, is a teaching signal. No action, no error signal. No error signal, no learning. Visualization can prep attention, but without action-linked feedback, there's nothing to update. The thing most people miss is that vague goals generate no reliable dopamine. Be successful, get fit, find love. There's no concrete cue to mark I did it. Your brain needs a hit-or-miss signal tied to a specific behavior in a specific context. When you complete a rep, 10 push-ups before coffee in the kitchen at 7:30 a.m., that's a clean outcome. Your nervous system can stamp that in. When the target is fuzzy, there's no event boundary, so motivation drifts and habits fail to consolidate. Manifestation rituals also create a hidden trap. You feel good now for future results you haven't earned yet. That front-loads the reward on the fantasy, not the effort, and your brain learns to seek the feeling without the work. Over time, you get a stronger habit of imagining and a weaker habit of doing. It's like training a dog by praising it before it sits. The timing is wrong, so the learning is wrong. There's a better frame: intention, action, feedback, adjustment. Not a ritual, a loop. You set a clear intention that targets a specific behavior. You do a small action that is too clear to miss. You get feedback. Either it happened or it didn't. It felt easier or harder. You hit the metric or you didn't. Then you adjust, tweak the plan, shrink the rep, edit the environment. That loop is how the brain rewires. It's also how you rebuild trust with yourself. When your actions match your plan, your identity starts to shift. That unlocks motivation that lasts longer than a hype cycle. Now, where does this fail for most people? 2 places. First, identity. If your self-image says, "I'm inconsistent," your brain will filter opportunities to match that belief. Identity is a prediction machine. Second, context. Under stress, you'll follow the path of least resistance. If your environment points to scrolling, you'll scroll. If your gear is buried and distractions are one tap away, friction wins. Willpower isn't a plan, the environment is the plan. So we fix this with 5 rules that slot into the loop and close every gap. Rule 1, identity lock. Decide who you're becoming, not just what you want. Behavior follows identity. When you say, "I'm the kind of person who ships before noon," you give your brain a rule to protect. Then you prove it daily with tiny reps, 2 minutes, 3 times. So your brain sees evidence and updates the self-story. That alignment kills self-sabotage, because acting in line with identity feels congruent. Rule 2, precision goals. Make targets the brain can hit. Time, place, duration, first action, end state. Attach a sensory anchor, so your brain recognizes the context. The smell of coffee, the kitchen light, the feel of your shoes by the door. Use if-then plans like, if 7:30 a.m. kitchen, then 10 push-ups before coffee. 2 metrics max. If you can't count it in under 10 seconds, it's too vague. Rule 3, friction design. Make the right thing easy and the wrong thing hard. Remove 1 step from the behavior you want. Add 2 steps to your biggest distraction. Lay out your gear the night before, block the sites, put your phone in another room, set default calendar blocks. Your brain follows the shortest path, especially when tired. Rule 4. Emotion pairing. This is the step manifestation gets wrong. Don't wait to feel good at the finish line. Attach reward to effort and progress. Celebrate reps, narrate micro-wins, pair routines with music, light, or a short movement burst. Use a reinforcement script. This rep means I'm the kind of person who shows up. Critique during learning kills repetition. Repetition is the driver of plasticity. Rule 5. Data feedback. Measure, reflect, adjust weekly. The brain updates models with clear cycles. 10 minutes, once a week. Count reps, note obstacles, pick one tweak. Track a trend, not perfection. Change one variable at a time, so you can see what worked. This closes the loop and stops the start over Monday cycle. Once you see this, manifestation isn't evil, it's just incomplete. Keep the intention, but wire it to action, precision, friction, emotion, and feedback. When those 5 line up, neuroplasticity has what it needs. Clear cues, repeated execution, timely reinforcement, and structured updates. That's how you go from wishing to doing, and from doing to becoming. Rule 1. Identity lock. Decide who you're becoming, not what you want. Before tactics, lock the story your brain is trying to keep true. Behavior follows identity. If your quiet self-story is, I'm inconsistent, your brain will protect that prediction by nudging you toward tiny misses. 5 minutes late, one excuse, a skipped rep. The fix isn't louder goals. It's a cleaner identity with daily proof. Not, I want 6-pack abs, but I'm the kind of person who moves daily. Not, I want a promotion, but I'm the kind of person who ships before noon. Identity gives your brain a rule to defend. So doing the behavior feels like staying congruent, not fighting yourself. Here's the structure. First, write a one-line identity in present tense. I'm the kind of person who core behavior, frequency/context. Keep it value-based, not outcome-based. Second, design proof reps, small, countable behaviors that make the identity true today. Aim for 3 microproofs a day, each 2 minutes or less. Third, attach each proof to a cue you already encounter, so the reps trigger automatically. We're stacking identity onto routines you already do. Let me show you exactly how. Identity line. I'm the kind of person who starts my day with deliberate effort. Proof reps. 1 page of notes at 7:10 a.m., 10 push-ups at 7:30 a.m. before coffee, 1 email drafted and saved by 7:55 a.m. Cues. Sit at desk, walk into kitchen, open inbox. Each rep is too small to fail, and together they generate undeniable evidence. Your brain updates on evidence, not declarations. Now here's where most people mess up. They pick a future self fantasy. I'm a best-selling author, then never sit to write. The brain won't update because there's no present tense proof. Or they pick an identity too broad. I'm disciplined, which has no clear behaviors attached. Your nervous system needs specificity to tag an action as me. Identity without behavior is cosplay. Behavior without identity feels like a chore. Put them together and repetition gets easier. Why this works? Your brain craves consistency between self-image and action. When the behavior affirms the identity, you get a subtle reward signal during the effort. That's crucial because, as noted earlier, dopamine-related signals track prediction errors and cues of progress, not only end results. If you feel the micro-win as you do the rep, you reinforce both the action and the identity. Over time, it flips from try to be this person to I am this person, so I do these things. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Make your identity line ridiculously narrow at first. I'm the kind of person who writes 1 sentence after breakfast. Laughably small, yes, and powerful. You lower the cost of congruence, so your brain says yes more often. Once the reps are automatic, widen the identity. 1 paragraph, then 200 words, then a 25-minute block. Identity scales. Start small to lock the link. Microstory. A student came to me, manifesting confidence, for presentations. Every Monday she visualized, affirmed, but froze on Thursdays. We scrapped the outcome and installed the identity. I'm the kind of person who practices out loud daily. Proof reps. 2 minutes of out loud practice after lunch, phone on the desk as a timer. 1 voice memo per day. 1 sentence she'd open with, spoken while standing. 30 micro-reps later, she wasn't manifesting confidence. She had evidence she was a person who speaks. The confidence arrived as a side effect of repetition, not a prerequisite. Now, practical build. Step 1. Choose one identity line. Make it present tense, behavior-based, and tied to a value you actually care about. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Tie identity to a verb you can do today. Step 2. Create 3 proof reps that are 2 minutes or less, each pinned to a daily cue you already hit. Step 3. Log the reps with a simple tick. No journaling marathons. Your only job is, did I make my identity true? Today, common mistakes to avoid. Don't collect identities like badges. One identity at a time. Don't demand emotion first. Action breeds identity, emotion follows. Don't move the goalposts. Keep the proof reps stable for at least 7 days before you scale. And don't punish a miss. Misses are data. Shrink the rep, tighten the cue, remove a step. We'll talk friction next, but your environment should help you keep this promise to yourself. Quick win you can do today. Write one identity line on a sticky note and place it where the first proof happens. Then pick one 2-minute rep you'll do in the next hour. Say it out loud. This rep makes me the kind of person who identity. Do the rep, tick the box. That's your first evidence. Once you nail that, everything else clicks. Precision goals suddenly have a home. Friction design becomes obvious because you're protecting a self-story. Emotion pairing lands because you celebrate being you, not chasing a finish line. And data feedback turns into a weekly identity audit. Did my actions match my story? If yes, scale. If not, simplify. Lock the identity. Prove it small. Repeat until it's true. Rule 2: precision goals. Make targets the brain can hit, smarter plus sensory. With identity locked, your goals need to speak the brain's language. Time, place, action, and a sensory cue your nervous system can actually detect. The tricky part is this. Most goals describe outcomes, not behaviors. Get fit is an outcome. 10 push-ups at 7:30 a.m. in the kitchen before coffee is a behavior. Your brain can't hit fog. It needs coordinates. Why this matters? Under the hood, your brain's planning systems latch onto concrete cues. Where you are, what you're touching, what you see, hear, or smell. When those cues repeat, the behavior gets tagged as this goes here. That pairing is what makes actions automatic. The thing most people miss is that your motivation isn't failing. You're just handing your brain targets it can't perceive. Here's the simple framework. Define 5 elements: time, place, duration, first action, end state. Then add one sensory anchor. Time is a clock or a sequence after breakfast. Place is a physical location you can stand in. Duration caps the session so it doesn't sprawl. First action is the smallest visible move. End state is what done looks like. Sensory anchor could be the lamp you flip, the playlist you press, the smell of coffee, the feel of your shoes. Let me show you exactly how. Vague, read more. Precise. At 9 p.m. on the couch, for 10 minutes, I put the book on my lap, open to a bookmark, and stop when I've highlighted one idea. Sensory anchor. Warm lamp on, same mug of tea. First action, sit, book on lap. End state, one highlight. That's a bullseye your brain can hit. Now here's where most people mess up. They define a block, but skip the first action. Without a crisp entry, you'll hesitate and your brain will look for an easier loop. Or they set moving targets, new app, new routine, new metric every 2 days. So the behavior never binds to a stable cue. Or they track 8 variables and drown in data, which kills repetition. Precision isn't complexity, it's clarity. The shortcut nobody teaches. 2 metrics max, and each must be countable in under 10 seconds. Steps, reps, minutes, pages, lines of code, outbound messages, fine. Feel more productive? Nope. If you can't count it fast, it won't guide today's action. Practical template you can steal. If then planning. If time in place, then first action for duration until end state. Add, paired with sensory anchor. Example. If 7:30 a.m. in the kitchen, then I do 10 push-ups before coffee until both palms leave the floor cleanly, paired with the kitchen light switched on. That one sentence gives your brain a trigger, a start, a cap, a finish line, and a cue it can feel. Before we continue, you need to understand the role of event boundaries. Your brain slices experience into chunks when something noticeable changes. Lights on, music starts, door closes. Use that. Create a start boundary and a stop boundary. Start boundary, lamp on, headphones in. Stop boundary, lamp off, tally the rep. This makes sessions sticky and easier to repeat. Let's build a few across domains. Health. If 12:30 p.m. at the sidewalk outside my building, Then I walk 8 minutes clockwise around the block. Stop when my timer buzzes, paired with sunglasses on. First action, step outside. End state, timer goes. Career. If 8:30 a.m. at my desk, then I open the blank ship before noon doc and type the first ugly sentence for 25 minutes. Stop at 3 paragraphs, paired with the same instrumental playlist. First action, open doc. End state, 3 paragraphs. Learning. If 6:15 p.m. at the kitchen table, then I solve one Anki deck for 10 minutes, stop after 20 cards, paired with a peppermint gum. First action, launch app. End state, 20 cards. Relationships. If 11:45 a.m. standing by the window, then I send one outreach message using the 3-line script, stop after one send, paired with a deep breath and a smile. First action, open messages. End state, one send. Now, the game changer nobody talks about. Make the first action so small it has no negotiation cost. Open doc. Stand up. Shoes on. Those are doorway behaviors. Once you cross the doorway, momentum carries you. Tie your metric to the doorway. Count starts, not just finishes. That way even a partial rep pays you. Common mistakes to avoid. Outcome-only goals. Swap lose 10 pounds for walk 8 minutes after lunch daily. Moving targets. Keep the same time, place, and first action for 7 days before tweaking. Overtracking. Pick one primary metric and one secondary. And don't schedule inside a conflict. Precision includes calendar reality. If 7:30 a.m. is chaos, pick 7:10 or 7:50. Precision beats perfection. Quick win. Rewrite one vague goal right now into an if-then with a countable metric and a sensory anchor. Say it out loud. Put it on a sticky near the queue. Tomorrow morning, you'll thank tonight's planning. Once you nail that, everything else clicks. Identity has a daily proving ground. Friction design becomes obvious. Lay out the anchor, remove the blockers. Emotion pairing can now attach to a clear rep. And data feedback has something solid to track. Precise targets don't just guide action. They generate the prediction errors your brain needs to learn. That's how you move from I hope to I did, and from I did to I am. Rule 3: Friction design. Make the right thing easy, wrong thing hard. Precision gives you coordinates. Friction decides whether you actually go there when you're tired, stressed, or bored. Under load, your brain follows the shortest path. So instead of more willpower, we redesign the path. Remove one step from the behavior you want. Add 2 steps to the distraction that steals your time. That's it. Tiny changes, huge payoff. Why this works? Your brain is constantly budgeting energy. Extra steps feel like cost, fewer steps feel like relief. When the good choice is 1 motion away, and the bad choice is 3, you don't debate, you drift toward the easier path. The cool part is you can architect that drift. Here's the simple playbook. First, identify your keystone rep from Rule 2. Second, list the first 3 actions required to start that rep. Third, delete or pre-do one of those actions so the start is lighter. Then flip to your biggest distraction and add steps. A physical blocker, a time delay, or both. You're not fighting the urge, you're making the urge inconvenient. Let me show you exactly how. If your precise goal is open the ship before noon doc at 8:30 a.m., the current steps might be: find laptop, log in, close tabs, find file. Remove one step. The night before, set your laptop on the desk, lid open, doc already on the screen in full screen mode. Now the first action is just sit down and type. For distraction, say it's social scrolling. Add steps. Phone sleeps in another room, charging in a zippered pouch. Desktop sites blocked by a blacklist, accounts logged out. That's 3 frictions before doom scrolling even starts. Now here's where most people mess up. They optimize apps instead of the environment. Fancy task managers won't help if the guitar you're trying to practice stays in a case under the bed. Get the case out, put the guitar on a stand next to the chair, tuner clipped on, pick taped to the stand. You removed 3 steps. Or they rely on, I'll just resist, and then wonder why 10 p.m. you beats 10 a.m. you. Don't negotiate with future you. Pre-decide for them with physical reality. The shortcut nobody teaches: build default stacks. Defaults are pre-assembled cues that set the stage without thinking. Example: a nightly 20-minute reset that sets tomorrow's friction. Line up shoes by the door, lay out workout clothes, pre-fill water bottle, prep the breakfast bowl, open the morning doc, put the book on the couch, place the outreach script next to your laptop. 1 reset, 6 behaviors now 1 step away. A student used this and reported their morning procrastination dropped by roughly half within a week. Not magic, just fewer steps to the right thing, more steps to the wrong thing. Before we continue, you need to understand blockers. A blocker is any object or setting that physically interrupts a behavior. A site blocker that requires a passcode you don't know, a lockbox timer for your game controller, a guest account on your computer with no distractions, a second browser with 0 logins for work hours. Blockers create a pause where you can choose again. That pause saves entire afternoons. Let's design friction across common domains. Health. Want a lunch walk? Shoes at your desk, sunglasses on top, timer preset to 8 minutes, path chosen clockwise. Remove elevator use by choosing the stairs nearest your office and putting a sticky note on the elevator button. Walk loop first. Junk snacks? Put them on the top shelf in an opaque bin, with a step stool in another room. Add 2 steps to snack, 1 step to fruit. Washed, in a clear bowl at eye level. Deep work. Pre-open the blank dock and full screen it. Hide the dock, close email. Set your phone in a different room on airplane mode. Add friction to task switching. Enable Do Not Disturb, block social sites, and keep a parking lot notepad to catch off-topic thoughts so you don't chase them. Learning. Keep your book on the couch, not the shelf, bookmark placed, highlighter clipped. For language apps, put the app on the first screen, everything else on the second screen, grayscale mode on during study time. If video platforms distract you, use a browser extension to hide thumbnails. Relationships. Want to reach out daily? Create a favorites list of contacts. Pin your 3-line outreach script in Notes. Set a home screen widget that opens messages to favorites only. Add 2 steps to feeds. Log out and require a long, unique password stored in a manager you don't open during work hours. Now, the game changer nobody talks about. Automate friction with time. Calendar blocks are environmental design. Put a repeating 90-minute focus block on weekday mornings. During that block, Wi-Fi auto-disables on your laptop via a script, and your smart plug turns off the TV. Environmental cues aren't just objects, they're schedules. Common mistakes to avoid. Don't make the wrong thing impossible if it'll cause rebound binging. Make it annoying. Don't add friction to the right thing by hiding gear in the name of tidy. Don't overbuild systems before you've tested 1 rep. And don't forget recovery. At the end of a session, reset the room. Ending clean makes starting easy tomorrow. Quick win. Add 1 physical blocker to your biggest distraction today. Lock your phone in another room for your next work block, or install a site blocker right now with a colleague's passcode. Then remove 1 step from your next desired behavior. Lay out gear, open the dock, preload the timer. You'll feel the difference on your very next rep. Once you nail that, everything else clicks. Identity has fewer ambushes. Precision targets become automatic. And in the next rule, we'll attach emotion to effort, so your brain starts to crave the reps you've just made easy. Rule 4. Emotion pairing. Attach effort to reward, not just outcomes. You've lowered friction. Now we make your brain want the rep itself. Here's the key. Dopamine doesn't only show up at the finish line. It tracks effort, surprises, and progress signals. If you only let yourself feel good when you win big, your nervous system learns the wrong lesson. Wait for perfect, not for practice. We flip that by rewarding the behavior while you're doing it, and right after you finish. That's what wires it in. Why this matters. Learning rides on repetition, and repetition rides on how it feels. If the work feels punishing, your brain tags it as threat, and you'll avoid it next time. If the work feels meaningful and slightly rewarding, you come back faster. The thing most people miss is they outsource joy to outcomes. That makes you brittle. Pros attach satisfaction to the rep. Let me show you exactly how to do it with a simple 3-part ritual. Prime, narrate, reinforce. Prime means you start with a reliable mood cue, music, light, or movement, that your brain can associate with we're doing the thing. Pick 1 song, 1 lamp, or 1 physical micro warm-up you use only for this behavior. Keep it short, 10 to 20 seconds. Over a week, your brain will start releasing a little anticipatory motivation when the cue starts. That's free fuel. Narrate is your in-rep self-talk. 2 lines, present tense, tied to identity and progress. Use a script like, "This rep counts. This rep means I'm the kind of person who shows up." Or, 1 clean paragraph. Keys moving means identity is locking. You're not hyping, you're labeling. Labeling turns vague effort into data your brain can mark as reward-worthy. Reinforce is the 30-second post-rep celebration. Do one tiny, repeatable thing that feels good and signals we did it. Examples. Stand up, breathe deep, sip something you like, fist tap your desk, mark the tally, say the identity line out loud. Keep it consistent so your system links the action to the afterglow. The timing matters. Reward within 30 seconds so the association is tight. Now here's where most people mess up. They make the celebration cheesy or huge. You don't need fireworks, you need consistency. Or they critique mid-rep. Ugh, sloppy sets, slow writing, which trains avoidance. Save critique for the weekly review. During reps, you reinforce. Another mistake, only celebrating when the session was perfect. That kills momentum. Celebrate starts, not perfection. You can improve quality later. Right now, you're wiring the loop. The shortcut nobody teaches. Pair a body cue with your script. A quick shoulder roll, a subtle nod, a breath through the nose with a slow exhale. Physical signals are fast channels into state. When you tie your mantra to emotion, you anchor the identity deeper. Over time, doing the motion evokes the mindset. Example stack for deep work. Prime with headphones on and the same instrumental track. Narrate. Keys moving equals shipping. This rep counts. Reinforce by ticking the ship before noon box and standing for one proud breath. For fitness, prime with shoes on and one bounce. Narrate. These 10 reps are who I am. Reinforce with a sip of cold water and a quiet nice. For outreach, prime with the window spot and a smile. Narrate. One send builds my network. Reinforce by dragging a magnet to a done column. Before we continue, you need to understand how to handle bad days. Emotion pairing is not toxic positivity. It's precise reinforcement. If the session was choppy, your reinforce line can be honest and still helpful. Messy today, still the kind of person who shows up. You're rewarding identity-consistent effort, not lying about quality. That keeps the door open tomorrow. Microstory. A client kept saving joy for later. She'd finish a 25-minute writing block and immediately scan for flaws. Over weeks, her starts got slower. We installed a 3-step ritual. Lamp on with the same warm bulb, narration every 5 minutes. This sentence advances the draft. And a post-rep green check on a wall calendar. 2 weeks later, she reported she craved the lamp. Output rose before quality did. And then quality caught up, because reps multiplied. Common pitfalls to avoid. Variable rituals. Keep the same cue for at least 14 days before switching. Punishing misses. No extra work to make up. That ties effort to pain. Use the bounce-back protocol later. Over-rewarding. Don't pair junk food or long breaks to every tiny rep. Keep the reinforcement tiny and identity-linked. Quick wins you can do today. Choose one prime cue you'll use only for your target behavior. One song, one light, or one movement. Write a 2-line narration you'll say quietly during the rep. This rep counts. I'm the kind of person who identity. Pick a 30-second post-rep celebration you can repeat every session. Tally tick plus 1 deep breath. The reason this works is simple. You're shifting dopamine from fantasy to effort, creating a tight loop of action, small win, positive tag, next action. That's how behaviors become self-reinforcing. And now that reps feel a bit rewarding, we'll close the loop with numbers, so your brain sees the progress it feels. Rule 5, data feedback. Measure, reflect, adjust weekly. You've got identity, precision, friction, and emotion working. Now we close the loop with numbers. Not spreadsheets, not life audits. 10 focused minutes once a week to turn effort into learning. Your brain updates its internal model when it sees clean feedback cycles. No cycle, no update. This step is what keeps you from starting over Monday forever. Here's the structure. Schedule a repeating 10-minute review on the same day and time. Treat it like brushing your brain's teeth. Bring 1 page, your checkboxes for reps, your single primary metric, and a short notes column. Then run 3 passes. Recount, reflect, adjust. Recount is math, not mood. Count the reps you actually did. If your metric was walk after lunch, tally the total walks and note streaks. If your deep work block was ship 3 paragraphs, count the sessions, not the paragraphs. We're tracking trend, not perfection. A clear number tells your brain whether the system is working. Reflect is 2 quick prompts, because and therefore. Because X happened, therefore next week I will Y. Keep it 1 sentence. Example. Because I missed Tuesday and Thursday after surprise meetings, therefore I'll shift the block to 8:10 a.m. where my calendar is clean. Or, Because evening workouts kept getting bumped. Therefore, I'll move them to lunch and prep shoes at desk. The point is you're not judging. You're converting obstacles into design tweaks. Adjust is the single change you'll test for 7 days. One variable only, so you can see whether it helped. Change time, place, first action, duration, or a blocker. Never change all 5. Complexity hides learning. Precision plus 1 tweak equals clarity. Let me show you exactly how. Suppose your metric was 10 push-ups at 7:30 a.m. in the kitchen before coffee, with a tally box each day. End of week, your recount shows May 7th. Reflect. Because I skipped on the 2 days I woke late, therefore I'll add a backup if then. If after 9:30 a.m., then 10 more push-ups before lunch. Adjust. Add the backup sticky on the fridge and set a 11:45 a.m. reminder. That's a system adaptation, not a shame spiral. Now here's where most people mess up. They track too much, review too rarely, and then change 5 things at once. That kills signal. Also, they interpret misses as identity threats. I'm not disciplined. So they try to make up volume. That ties effort to punishment and wrecks repetition. Track the smallest useful metric, review weekly, and adjust one lever. The shortest effective tracker is the checkbox grid. Rows are days, columns are your 1 or 2 reps. At the end of each day, tick the box. At the end of the week, count ticks. Add one line for because / therefore. That's it. If counting time helps, use minutes. If counting starts helps, count starts. Choose what you can tally in under 10 seconds. Before we continue, you need to understand lagging results versus leading indicators. Weight loss, promotions, fluency, those lag. Reps, starts, minutes, those lead. If you judge your week by lagging results, you'll quit early. Judge it by leading indicators that you control. High leading indicators predict the lag will follow. Microstory. A client tried 3 elaborate productivity systems and kept burning out. We simplified to 1 metric. Keys moving sessions before noon. Counted as a start when the first sentence was typed. Week 1, 3 starts. Note, because meetings 8 Mondays, therefore I'll block Mondays at 9 o'clock. Week 2, 5 starts. Note, because Slack pings broke flow, therefore I'll auto-mute during the block. Week 3, 6 starts. No motivation hack, no new app. The tiny metric change, counting starts, unlocked consistency that 3 failed plans couldn't. Common mistakes to avoid. Tracking vanity metrics you won't use. If you won't change behavior based on the number, don't track it. Reviewing when you're emotional. Do it when you're calm. Facts first, feelings later. Switching goals mid-week. Finish the week, then adjust. Writing essays. 1 sentence because / therefore is enough. Now, a couple of proven patterns for adjustments. Time shift. Earlier in the day usually wins because friction is lower. First action shrink. If starts are low, make the doorway smaller. Open doc beats, write 500 words. Environment swap. Move the behavior to a location with fewer cues to distract. Blocker upgrade. If a site blocker is easy to override, add a second blocker or outsource the passcode. Duration cap. If you're overshooting and burning out, cap sessions to end with energy left. Here's the weekly script you can read aloud to keep it tight. Recount. I planned 7, I did 5. Reflect. Because 2 mornings were chaotic, therefore I'm moving the block to 7:10. And prepping at night. Adjust. 1 change only. Nightly reset plus earlier start. Commit. This is a test for 7 days. Quick win. Right now, put a 10-minute repeating event on your calendar titled Review. Recount, reflect, adjust. Pick 1 metric to track this week and draw a 7-box grid on a sticky. Put it where the rep happens. First checkbox gets ticked tomorrow. The reason this works is simple. Brains love closed loops. Action produces data. Data produces decisions. Decisions improve action. The loop builds self-trust because you stop guessing and start iterating. And when you compound that weekly, your identity isn't built on hope. It's built on evidence. The habit stack. Your 14-day brain rewire plan. You've got the 5 rules. Now we'll stack them into a 2-week sprint that your brain will actually believe. Short sprints build credibility. Credibility builds momentum. Think of this as training wheels for permanent change. Here's the daily formula. 5 moves, 1 minute to set up, 10 to 30 minutes to run. Identity. 1 proof rep that makes your line true today. Precision. 1 clear if then action with accountable metric. Friction. One tiny tweak that removes a step for the right behavior or adds a step to the tempting one. Emotion. One 10 to 30-second ritual to prime, narrate, and reinforce the rep. Data. One quick tick at the end so today turns into learnable data. Week 1 is baseline. Your only job is consistency, not volume. Pick the smallest version of your behavior and repeat it daily. Week 2 is progressive overload by 10-20%. Slightly longer, slightly harder, or one extra rep, but only if week 1 hit at least 5 out of 7 days. If not, you shrink the rep, not the goal. Let me show you exactly how to set up day 1. Write your identity line on a sticky near the queue. Example. I'm the kind of person who ships before noon. Choose one precise if then. If 8:30 a.m. at my desk, then open the blank doc and type for 15 minutes, stop at 3 paragraphs. Friction. The night before, open the doc full screen, headphones ready, phone in another room. Emotion. Prime with the same song. Narrate, keys moving means identity. Reinforce with a tally tick and one deep breath. Data. Check the box. Done. Day 2 through 7, repeat the same pattern. No upgrades yet. Your brain needs stability to bind context to behavior. Use the nightly 10-minute reset to protect tomorrow's start. Set gear, prep anchors, and reblock distractions. At the end of day 7, run a micro review. Recount total reps, write one because / therefore line, and choose one small adjustment for week 2. Now here's where most people mess up. They add volume before consistency, switching times, places, and metrics midweek. That prevents the context-action bond from forming. Or they skip reviews and rely on vibes. Don't. Your weekly tweak is the hinge that turns effort into smarter effort. The checkpoint you'll live by is this. If nothing changes in 24 hours, shrink the rep, not the goal. Busy day 8 your block? Tomorrow's block becomes 5 minutes, not 0. Couldn't face the gym? Put on shoes and walk around the block once. The identity stays intact. The loop stays alive. Let's map the 14 days plainly. Days 1 to 3. Establish the loop. Same time, same place, same first action, same micro-ritual, same tick. Friction tweaks are tiny. Open the doc nightly, put phone away, lay out shoes. Keep wins embarrassingly small. Days 4 to 5. Lock environmental defaults. Add one blocker to your biggest distraction. Build your nightly reset checklist on a note card. You're turning decisions into presets. Day 6. Stress test. Do the rep in a slightly worse mood or busier schedule. Use your backup if then. If morning misses, then at 11:45 a.m., do the 5-minute version. Celebrate the start, not the quality. Day 7. Mini review. Recount reps. Write because / therefore. Pick one lever to change. Common upgrades. Start 20 minutes earlier. Shorten the session to increase starts. Or add a stronger blocker. Schedule week 2's times now. Days 8 to 10. Progressive overload at 10 to 20%. Add 1 paragraph, 2 minutes, or 2 reps, not all. Keep the ritual identical. Keep friction favorable. If starts drop, revert to week 1 settings immediately. Starts are king. Days 11 to 12. Layer 1 novelty accelerator without replacing reps. Example. Take a 5-minute device-free walk before the work block, or add a new playlist only for this behavior. Novelty widens learning windows, but the rep is the star. Day 13. Deliberate easy day. Run the smallest version to finish with energy. Ending a sprint with gas in the tank increases the odds you roll into week 3. Day 14. Review and decide. Count total starts. If you hit at least 10 of 14, scale gently next week. If you hit 7 to 9, keep the same settings and strengthen friction. Under 7, shrink the rep, move earlier, and add 1 blocker. You're not failing, you're engineering. Common pitfalls you'll avoid. Changing 5 variables at once, change 1. Demanding. Motivation, design friction. Skipping the emotion ritual, reward the rep. Tracking too much, count starts or minutes, nothing else. Your 14-day goal isn't transformation, it's trust. After 2 weeks, your brain should believe. I start when I say I start. Once that's true, scaling becomes simple arithmetic. Application 1. Health and energy, fitness, sleep, food. Let's stress test the 5 rules on your body: movement, sleep, and food. Health change stalls when goals are fuzzy. The kitchen fights you, and you only feel good after big results. We're going to wire daily wins that compound. Identity lock first. Pick one line. I'm the person who moves daily. That's it. It doesn't say marathoner. it says mover. If you prefer recovery as your angle, say, I'm the person who protects my sleep window. Or for nutrition, I'm the person who builds meals before snacks. Choose one identity for 14 days and prove it small. Precision makes it tangible. Translate move more into an if-then with a metric. If 12:30 p.m. on the sidewalk outside my building, then I walk 8 minutes clockwise, stop at the timer, paired with sunglasses on. If 7:15 a.m. in the living room, then I do 2 sets of 8 bodyweight squats, stop when I log 16, paired with the same track. If 10 p.m. in the bedroom, then lights off and phone on the dresser, stop when the lamp is off, paired with the white noise switch. For sleep, precision is a shutdown time, not only a bedtime. If 9:30 p.m. in the kitchen, then dishes done, lights dim, and Wi-Fi off switch flipped, stop when kettle is filled for morning tea. That creates an event boundary your brain recognizes, making bedtime a sequence, not a wish. Friction design decides whether it happens on a busy day. Remove 1 step from the right choice. Add 2 steps to the wrong one. Movement. Lay out shoes by the door with socks inside. Set a 10-minute timer tile near the exit. Store a spare hoodie at work. Add friction to skipping by putting a sticky on your chair. Walk loop first. Sleep. Phone charges outside the bedroom. Blackout mask on the pillow. Books at reach. TV on a smart plug that turns off at 9:30 p.m. Add friction to late-night scrolling by logging out and storing the password where you won't open it at night. Food. Pre-prep a default plate, protein, veg, carb, in clear containers at eye level. Place fruit in a bowl on the counter. Knives and cutting board left out clean. Add friction to ultra-processed snacks. Opaque bin on the top shelf. Step stool in another room. 1 step easier to hold food, 2 steps harder to snacks. Emotion pairing makes effort feel rewarding now. Prime with a repeatable cue. Same playlist for walks. Same lamp for evening stretch. Same mug for herbal tea. Narrate. These 8 minutes mean I'm a daily mover. Or, kitchen closed equals tomorrow's energy. Reinforce within 30 seconds. Tick the box, sip water, breathe deep. Tie your script to a body cue. A shoulder roll after walks. A slow exhale after lights out. So your state anchors. Data feedback turns weeks into progress. Track 1 primary metric per identity. Movement. Starts per week or minutes walked. Sleep. Sleep window kept. Time in bed from lights off to out of bed. Food. Meals built before snacks. Count of days you ate a protein veg carb plate before any snack. Weekly review, 10 minutes. Recount the ticks. Reflect in 1 sentence. Because late meetings killed the walk, therefore I'll move it to 11:45 a.m. and stash shoes under the desk. Adjust 1 lever only, time earlier, path simpler, or stronger blocker. Common mistakes you'll avoid. Weekend collapse. Keep a weekend version pre-decided. If schedule shifts, then I do a 5-minute mobility flow before coffee. If eating out, then I lead with a protein and veg order before anything else. All or nothing. Shrink the rep, don't skip it. If gym falls through, then 2 sets of air squats and a brisk hallway walk. Endless healthy research. 1 default plate beats 5 podcasts. Build the plate, then refine later. Sleep as an afterthought. Treat the evening shutdown as the real workout. Protecting the sleep window is how tomorrow's motivation shows up. Quick starters you can install today. Write your identity line on a sticky by your shoes or your lamp. If then your next movement. If lunch ends, then 8-minute clockwise walk. Place fruit on the counter, snacks in an opaque top shelf bin. Move your charger out of the bedroom and set a 9:30 p.m. smart plug off for screens. Pick 1 song as your move cue and 1 breath as your done cue. 1 microstory from a client. She failed weekends. We added a weekend version. 5-minute walk before brunch. Pre-order a protein veg plate. Phone in the foyer after 10 p.m. 2 weeks later, she kept her streak for the first time in months. Not because she tried harder, but because the default was easier. That's the game. Identity you can prove, targets your brain can hit, paths that glide, effort that feels good, and numbers that teach you how to improve. Application 2, career and deep work, focus, output learning. Same engine, new arena. Work changes fast when you stop chasing motivation and start protecting an identity that ships. Pick 1 line. I'm the person who ships before noon. It's simple, present tense, and behavior-based. Your job is to make that sentence true today with small, repeatable evidence. You're not promising genius, you're promising starts. Now make it precise. Use a morning if-then with a doorway action, and a clear finish line. If 8:30 a.m. at my desk, then I open the ship before noon, doc, and type for 25 minutes. Stop after 3 paragraphs, paired with the same instrumental playlist. First action, open the blank doc. End state, 3 paragraphs, even if ugly. That's output you can count. This next part separates beginners from pros. Define the first keystroke before you sit down. Write the subhead, why this matters in 1 sentence. Or, list 3 bullets for the intro. When you define the first keystroke, you erase negotiation and your fingers move. Keys moving is the metric. Count starts, not just words. Starts are leading indicators. Words fluctuate, starts don't. Friction decides whether that block survives meetings, Slack, and your own brain. Remove 1 step from starting. Full screen the doc the night before. Headset on the keyboard. Notes closed. Notifications off by default. Add 2 steps to distractions. Log out of social accounts. Move your phone to another room. And enable a site blocker during the block with a passcode you don't have. Keep a parking lot notepad to capture off-topic thoughts so you don't chase them. Prime your block with the same 10-second cue. Headphones on, lamp on, posture set. Narrate lightly as you start. Keys moving means I'm the person who ships before noon. Reinforce with a tick on a visible tracker and 1 slow breath. Reward the start. You'll want to improve quality later, but today you celebrate starts because starts compound. Now you might be thinking, what about planning? The thing most people miss is planning during execution kills flow. Separate them. Create a 10 to 15 minute plan tomorrow slot at the end of your day. That's where you define tomorrow's first keystroke, stack research links into 1 doc, and stage the canvas. Tomorrow morning, you execute, not plan. Learning slots fit the same pattern. Pick a single skill tied to shipping. Keyboard shortcuts, a specific API, a writing lens, a sales objection. Precision. If 2:15 p.m. at the quiet corner, then I practice 1 focused drill for 15 minutes. Stop after 1 page of notes, paired with peppermint gum. First action, open the drill deck. End state, 1 page. Learning is a tool for output, keep it scoped. Data closes the loop. Track 1 metric for output, starts before noon per week, and 1 for learning, drill sessions per week. Weekly review. Because Tuesday and Thursday had 9 a.m. surprises, therefore I'll move the block to 8:10 and set Slack to auto-mute. Adjust 1 lever only. If starts dip, shrink the doorway to 5 minutes, not 0. Common mistakes and fixes. Task switching. Fix with blockers and a visible, not now list. Every urge gets parked on paper. Planning while executing. Fix with an end-of-day planning slot and pre-written first keystroke. Chasing tools. Standardize your stack for 14 days. Innovation later, consistency now. Measuring hours instead of outputs. Count starts or shipped artifacts. Hours lie, artifacts don't. Microstory. 1 client swore they were bad at focus. We stopped arguing and counted starts before noon. Week 1, 2. Because Slack derailed mornings, therefore we set auto-mute and pre-opened a blank doc nightly. Week 2, 4. Because meetings ate Wednesdays, therefore we bumped the block to 7:40. Week 3, 5. Confidence rose, not from pep talks, but from evidence. Advanced touch, visual progress boards. Keep a simple 3-column board, to write, drafting, shipped, where you drag a card after each block. Movement itself becomes a reward cue. Combine with a done for today checklist. Block done, 1 outreach sent, inbox triaged for 5 minutes. Close the loop with a micro-win streak. Backup plans matter. If the morning block fails, the backup is pre-decided. If after 11:45 a.m., then a 5-minute ugly draft sprint at the window spot, paired with the same song. Protect identity through the smallest version. You're the person who ships before noon, when possible. When not, you're still the person who starts. That keeps your story intact. Keep the loop tight. Identity you can prove, targets your brain can hit, paths that glide, effort that feels good, and numbers that teach. Do that for 14 days, and watch how much motivation you suddenly have. It won't be magic. It'll be momentum. Application 3. Relationships and confidence, social communication. Same engine, human domain. Relationships and confidence aren't mysteries. They're reps plus feedback in social contexts. Start with identity. I'm the person who initiates. That single line flips you from waiting to leading. You're not confident later. You're consistent now. Confidence grows from evidence that you can start and survive. Make it precise. Translate, be more social, into a daily, if then with a countable metric, and a script you can execute without thinking. If 11:45 a.m. at the window spot, then send one outreach message using the 3-line script. Stop after one send, paired with a smile and a breath. If 5:10 p.m. leaving work, then voice note one friend for 60 seconds. Stop when I hit send, paired with headphones on. If Saturday 10:30 a.m. at the cafe, then initiate one 90-second chat with a barista or neighbor. Stop after one exchange, paired with the hello cue of eye contact and a nod. Your 3-line script keep starts easy, warm line. Hey name. This made me think of you. Value line. Short note or link. Why it's relevant. Clear ask or no ask close. No reply needed / if you're up for it. 10 minutes catch up next week. Friction design decides if you actually hit send. Remove a step from outreach. Pin 12 contacts as favorites. Pre-save your 3-line template in notes. Keep a widget on your home screen that opens messages to favorites. Add friction to avoidance. Disable feeds during the outreach window. Log out of social apps. Place your phone in airplane mode, accept messages. For in-person reps, lay out micro cues. Stand where people pass, keep hands visible, shoulders open, doorway behaviors for conversation. Emotion pairing matters most here, because social effort comes with threat detection. Prime with a quick state shift you reserve for outreach. Chin up, one breath through the nose, soft smile. Narrate lightly, this send counts. I'm the person who initiates. Reinforce within 30 seconds. Tick the streak box, sip water, tiny fist tap. Keep it small and consistent. Don't over-celebrate. Your wiring comm starts, not adrenaline highs. Rejection and silence are the sticking points. The thing most people miss. Every no is a rep toward desensitization, not a verdict on you. Reframe with an identity-consistent line. No response still equals me initiating. That keeps the loop intact. Save critique for the weekly review. During reps, reward starts. Let me show you exactly how this plays at 3 levels. Low-stakes social warmth. If elevator doors open, then I ask one neutral opener. How's your day going? Paired with a head nod. End state, you asked. You're practicing eye contact, timing, and tone in safe contexts. Relationship maintenance. If lunch ends, then I send one nudge of value to a friend, photo, article, inside joke, paired with a green check on the wall calendar. End state, one send. That builds a visible streak and lowers re-entry friction. Professional networking. If Tuesday 4 p.m. at my desk, then I send one concise request to a mentor or peer using the 3-line script, paired with instrumental music. End state, one ask. Count asks per week, not replies. Replies are lagging, asks are leading. Data feedback closes the social loop. Track one metric. Outreach is sent per week. Secondary metric, if you want it. Conversations initiated. 10-minute weekly review, recount. I planned 5, I sent 4. Reflect. Because mornings were tense, therefore I'll move the window to 11:45 a.m. and pre-write names Sunday. Adjust. One lever only, time, place, first line or friction. Common mistakes and fixes. Waiting to feel ready. Feelings follow starts. Fix with a doorway cue and a first line written in advance. Overthinking perfect messages. Limit drafts to 60 seconds. Send version 1. Perfection kills volume, and volume builds skill. Tracking replies, not reps. Switch to sending streaks and let replies be a bonus. Spamming long essays. Keep messages short, value first, then the ask. Microstory. A client dreaded outreach. We installed one 11:45 a.m. Send with the 3-line script. Favorites pinned, feeds blocked. Prime. One breath and a smile. Reinforce. Green tick on a wall card. Week 1, 3 sends. Week 2 with a Sunday pre-list, 6. By week 3, she wasn't confident. She was consistent. Confidence caught up. Advanced touch, exposure ladder. Build 5 rungs from easy to hard. Smile at a stranger. Ask a clerk one follow-up. Compliment a colleague's work. Invite a peer to coffee. Make a small group share. Run 1 rung daily for 14 days. Same prime. Narrate, reinforce. You're teaching your nervous system that social effort is safe and rewarded. Backup plan. If I miss the midday send, then at 6:05 p.m., I send a no reply needed, nudge to one friend. Shrink the rep, protect the identity. That's how confidence becomes a byproduct of doing, not a prerequisite. Advanced accelerators, cold exposure, novelty, nature, sleep. You've built the core engine. Now we'll widen your brain's learning window, safely. These accelerators don't replace reps. They make reps stick a little faster. Think of them as multipliers on top of Rule 2 behaviors. Start with novelty. Your brain pays extra attention to new. Short bursts of newness boost alertness and focus, which helps plasticity. The trick is controlled novelty. Small changes that sharpen attention without derailing routine. Swap locations once a week. Change the first song of your work playlist, or try a fresh drill variation. Keep the identity and the if-then identical. Only the context flavor changes. New but not chaotic. Nature is the low-friction accelerator most people ignore. A 5 to 15-minute device-free walk. No podcasts, no calls. Reduces mental noise and improves subsequent focus. Use it before a deep work block or after to consolidate. If 11:40 a.m. outside, then 8-minute quiet loop. Stop at timer, paired with sunglasses. Narrate, this lap is clearing bandwidth for the next rep. Reinforce with one deep breath and a tick. You're not being healthy. You're priming the neural stage for learning. Cold exposure is a sharper tool. Use it gently. Brief, controlled cold can increase alertness and catecholamines that elevate focus for some people. If you're going to use it, pair it with a specific Rule 2 behavior and keep it short. 30 to 90 seconds of cold water at the end of a warm shower is plenty for many people. Precision matters. If 7:10 a.m. bathroom, then 45 seconds cold rinse after warm shower. Stop when timer buzzes, paired with a single exhale, and I can do hard things briefly. Then go straight to your target rep. Never stack hard cold on days you're sleep deprived or run down. Individuals with cardiovascular or other medical conditions should consult a clinician first. The aim is a nudge, not a shock. Sleep is the silent accelerator that makes everything else work. Without enough sleep, learning and motivation wobble. Treat your sleep window like a non-negotiable training block. Precision looks like, if 9:30 p.m. kitchen, then lights dim, Wi-Fi off, kettle filled. Stop when the bedroom lamp is off at 10 p.m., paired with the same quiet track. Friction. Phone charges outside. Blackout mask on pillow. Emotion. Narrate. Protecting sleep equals tomorrow's starts. Reinforce with a single calendar tick for window kept. Judge the window, not perfect sleep. Now here's where most people mess up with accelerators. They stack too many stressors at once. Cold plus fasted training plus maximal work plus late nights. And then wonder why they crash. Or they chase hacks and forget reps. Remember the rule. Pair accelerators with Rule 2 reps. Never replace the rep. If an accelerator costs you the session, it's not accelerating anything. Let me show you exactly how to layer them over 14 days without frying your system. Week 1. Add nature. Keep your core behaviors unchanged and insert one device-free 8-minute walk before your main work block on 3 days. That's it. Track nature primes used. During your weekly review, ask, did starts rise or feel easier? If yes, keep it. If neutral, keep it for one more week or move it after the block to aid recovery. Week 2. Choose one of two, either novelty or a brief cold rinse. For novelty, shift location for one session per week or swap the first song only. For cold, try 30 to 60 seconds at the end of the shower on 2 mornings linked to your hardest rep. Keep your sleep window stable throughout. It's the base layer. Advanced touch. Use novelty as a reward. Finish 3 deep work starts this week. Run Friday's session at a favorite cafe or park bench. Your reinforcing starts with a context you enjoy, which makes next week's starts more attractive. Safety guardrails, cold exposure. Keep breathing calm. Stop if you feel dizzy. Skip if you're ill or underslept. Avoid competitive, more is better. Novelty. Change one variable. Too many shifts erase the context action bond you work to build. Nature. Device-free means device-free. No silent scrolling. You're training attention. Sleep. Protect consistency over duration perfection. A stable window beats weekend chaos. Quick wins you can do today. Schedule 3 8-minute device-free walks this week before key reps. Pick one novelty tweak for Friday's session. New seat, new first song, same plan. Set a 9:30 p.m. shutdown routine with one switch that kills screens. If curious, test a single 30 to 45 second cold rinse tomorrow tied to your morning rep. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Accelerators are seasoning, not the meal. Use them to make starting easier, focus steadier, and consolidation stronger. and only in service of the reps that define who you're becoming. Bounce back protocol. Reset in 24 hours. You're going to miss. Not because you're weak, because you're human. The difference between people who change and people who churn is what happens in the first 24 hours after a miss. Relapse is data, not drama. We're going to turn a slip into a system upgrade, so identity stays intact and momentum returns fast. Here's the protocol in 5 moves. Shrink, scan, rewrite, change one thing, mark the win. Shrink means you execute the smallest possible rep today. Not tomorrow, not when it's perfect. Today. If your plan was 25 minutes of writing and you missed, the reset is 1 ugly sentence. If it was a walk, it's 2 minutes to the corner and back. The goal is to rebind identity to action, not to pay penance. I'm the kind of person who starts is the story you're protecting. Scan is a quick friction check. Ask 3 questions. What blocked the start? Where was my phone? What was the first step I couldn't face? Write 1 word for each. You're not analyzing your soul. You're spotting environmental ambushes. The answer might be as boring as tabs open, which is great. Boring problems have obvious fixes. Rewrite means you adjust the if-then for the next 24 hours. Add a backup plan and shrink the doorway. If 8:30 a.m. misses, then at 11:45 a.m. I open the dock for 5 minutes. If I get home late, then I do 10 wall push-ups before dinner. We're not changing the identity, just the entry point and time window, so the rep can still happen. Change one thing is the immediate environmental tweak you'll make within 10 minutes. Physical action beats promises. Move the charger out of the bedroom. Put the book on the couch. Add a stronger sight blocker. Lay out shoes. Send yourself a calendar invite. 1 change only, fast, visible, and directly connected to the stumble you just had. Mark the win is how you close the reset. Do the tiny rep, then reinforce. 1 breath, 1 tick, 1 identity line. Reset rep counts. The speed matters. Rapid reset teaches your brain that misses are just routing problems, not character flaws. That preserves the willingness to try again tomorrow. Let me show you exactly how this looks. You planned a 25-minute morning draft. Alarm fails, you wake late, and the block is gone. Old pattern, shame spiral, and I'll make up 50 minutes tonight. New protocol. At lunch you write a single messy sentence standing at the window. You tick the box. Scam reveals phone by bed, Slack open. Rewrite adds, if morning misses, then 11:45 a.m. 5-minute sprint. Change one thing. Phone charger moves to the kitchen. Slack automutes during 8:10 to 9 a.m. Mark the win with a quiet nod. I'm the kind of person who restarts fast. Now here's where most people mess up. They try to make up volume, double workouts, marathon catch-ups, which trains the brain to associate effort with punishment. That kills repetition. Or they wait for Monday, which cements avoidance. Or they run a post-mortem essay about willpower instead of moving a single object in the environment. Don't do any of that. You don't need catharsis, you need a rep and a tweak. You're 60-second, because / therefore debrief fits here. Because late night scrolling wrecked sleep, therefore the phone moves to the foyer and lights go out at 10 p.m. Read it once, then act. Debriefs without action become rumination. Action without debrief repeats errors. The pair is the reset. Use identity-safe language. No, I'm so lazy. Use mechanical phrasing. Start failed at doorway. That invites design, not judgment. And when your inner critic spikes, use a compassionate reframe. Messy day, consistent person. Then do the smallest possible behavior that proves it. A few fast templates you can copy. Writing. If morning misses, then at 6:05 p.m. write 1 ugly sentence standing, paired with lamp on. Change one thing. Open blank doc now. Movement. If lunch walk misses, then 2 minutes of stairs at 3:30 p.m. Change one thing. Shoes by desk. Outreach. If 11:45 a.m. send misses, then 1 no reply needed nudge at 6:10 p.m. Change one thing. Favorites pinned. Safety valve for streak anxiety. If a streak breaks, start a reset streak. Track how many times you bounce back within 24 hours. Make recovery the game. That turns setbacks into skill practice and keeps your identity resilient. Quick wins you can do right now. Write 1 backup, if then, for your main behavior. Move 1 object that caused friction in the last miss. Do a 2-minute micro-rep and mark it with a tick. The reason this works is simple. Speed closes loops, and closed loops rebuild trust. When you restart within 24 hours, you teach your brain that effort is safe, identity is stable, and problems are solvable by design. Misses stop being exits, they become entries. Common pitfalls and fixes: decision fatigue, perfectionism, overwhelm. If you've ever felt like you did everything right on paper and still stalled, it's usually one of three culprits: decision fatigue, perfectionism, or overwhelm. Each one silently breaks the loop you just built. We'll fix them with tight, mechanical moves, no pep talks. Decision fatigue first. Too many choices drain the start. Your brain pays a toll every time you ask, when should I? Where should I? What next? The fix is predecisions and defaults. Predecide time, place, and first action for 7 days at a time. Use a weekly slot and lock rule. Pick your morning block, your movement window, and your outreach minute on Sunday, and don't renegotiate midweek. Automate everything that can be automatic. Recurring calendar blocks, smart plugs that shut screens, site blockers that run on a schedule, a nightly reset checklist taped to your desk. Create uniform starts. Same song, same lamp, same first keystroke. The goal is boring starts, repeated forever. If you're choosing during the day, you're already behind. Now, perfectionism. The sneakiest productivity killer doesn't look like procrastination. It looks like endless polishing. The fix is define done before you start and reward starts over flawless finishes. Set good enough criteria. 3 ugly paragraphs, 1 clean set, 1 outreach sent in 60 seconds. Use a timer to cap quality hunts. I get 5 minutes to improve, then ship. Build a visible done column, so movement is obvious. And narrate progress, not standards. This rep counts. If you catch yourself tinkering, run the parking lot move. Write the next improvement idea on paper, ship the artifact, and schedule a revisit during your weekly review. You're not lowering the bar forever, you're sequencing it. Reps now, refinement later. Overwhelm pulls a different trick. It convinces you the project is too big to start. The fix is threefold: chunk, cap, and sequence. Chunk by defining doorway behaviors so small they feel silly. Open the doc, put shoes on, type 1 line, send 1 message. Cap with tight durations. 5 to 15 minutes is enough to flip state. Sequence by choosing 1 lever per week. Time, place, first action, or blocker, and holding the rest steady. When everything is priority, nothing starts. Pick 1 start, count it, end with energy left. A quick rule that kills all 3 at once: 10-minute starts. If your brain says, not today, you answer with, we're only starting for 10. 10 minutes is short enough to dodge overwhelm, precise enough to dodge decisions, and imperfect enough to dodge perfectionism. Most days, you'll go longer. On bad days, you'll still bank a rep. Now here's where most people mess up with these fixes. They try to optimize in the middle of execution. Don't. Planning and design live in a separate block: end of day or weekly review. During reps, you only do 2 things. Follow the if-then and narrate, this rep counts. Another mistake: adding more tools for motivation. You don't need a new app. You need fewer choices, lower stakes, and shorter clocks. Decision fatigue pitfalls to watch. Unscheduled days. Your calendar is empty. Your brain is full. Fix by slotting blocks in advance. Multi-option menus. 3 different gyms for writing apps. Fix by standardizing for 14 days. Open tabs. 20 choices shouting at you. Fix by full screening the canvas and hiding docs. Perfectionism pitfalls to watch. Undefined finish lines. You can't end because you never said what done is. Fix by writing stop when X in your if-then. Feedback during reps. Critique mid-set. Fix by postponing notes to the weekly review. Just 1 more tweak. Scope creep. Fix with a 2-step shipping rule. Export, then share. Overwhelm pitfalls to watch. Vague projects. Write the report versus. Write the problem statement in 3 bullets. Fix with first keystrokes defined. Stacked goals. Multiple new habits at once. Fix by capping change to 1 variable per week. All or nothing days. Miss a block, burn the day. Fix with backup, if then 5-minute versions. If you remember nothing else, remember this micro-sequence when you feel stuck. Shrink the doorway, start for 10, stop on a win. That single move preserves identity, protects repetition, and keeps your data clean for the weekly review. The rest is seasoning. Rapid recap, plus your next 48 hours. Here's the tight recap. Identity lock. Decide who you're becoming and prove it daily with tiny reps. Precision goals. Give your brain coordinates: time, place, first action, duration, end state, plus a sensory anchor. Friction design. Remove one step from the right behavior and add two to the wrong one. Emotion pairing: prime, narrate, reinforce, reward the rep, not just the result. Data feedback: weekly recount, reflect, adjust, one tweak at a time. Your next 24 hours are simple. Choose one identity line and put it where the rep happens. I'm the person who ships before noon, or I'm the person who moves daily. Write one precise, if then with a countable metric and a sensory anchor. Example: if 8:30 a.m. at my desk, then open the blank doc and type for 15 minutes. Stop at 3 paragraphs, paired with the same instrumental track. Make one friction change right now. Open the doc and full screen it. Move your phone to another room. Lay out your shoes, or set a smart plug to cut screens at 9:30 p.m. Your 48-hour plan locks the loop. Add a 10 to 30 second emotion ritual. Same song or lamp to start, 2-line narration. This rep counts. I'm the kind of person who identity, and a 30-second post-rep celebration. Tally tick plus 1 deep breath. Put a repeating 10-minute weekly review on your calendar titled Recount, Reflect, Adjust. Draw a 7-box grid for your metric and stick it where the rep happens. 2 quick prompts to keep you moving. If nothing changes in 24 hours, shrink the rep, not the goal. 5 minutes beats 0. If you miss, run the bounce back protocol within the same day. Tiny rep now, 1 environment tweak. Mark the reset as a win. In the next 2 days, you're not chasing transformation. You're proving starts. You'll feel progress before results show up. Pay attention to that feeling. It's your brain updating the model. And if you want the deep dive on making reps feel rewarding, so they stick for months, subscribe and catch the emotion pairing breakdown next. End here and go set your first if then. Real rewiring happens when identity, precision, friction, emotion, and feedback line up into one tight loop you can trust. Commit to one 14-day sprint starting today. Subscribe for the advanced emotion pairing deep dive next, and drop your identity line in the comments so I can help you sharpen it. Start small, count starts, and let evidence build the rest.